I'm driving 5.5 hours due west, doing my best to arrive before the sun. And here in the very heart of Kansas, I find a little prairie town I was looking for. A prairie dog town. These little lawn mowing rodents are all up at dawn, putting up quite the show. From tiny tots to adults weighing in at 2 to 4 pounds, and as they bowl around, they are pretty fun to watch. But that is not what I came to see. I'm here for their feathered neighbor, the burrowing owl. By frontier settlers hiring an outlaw to beat a law, these rodents tolerate the raptor squatters for their keen eyesight and warning cries.
I'd estimate this prairie dog town has a couple of hundred prairie dogs and at least 4, maybe 5 burrowing owls. And it's an absolutely fantastic experience. I just pulled over on the shoulder of the road. This is a private farm, so I didn't do any trespassing at all. I did get out of my truck for a little bit and I just sat on the side of the road, on the road side of the ditch, so didn't even approach the fence. And I was able to get some low perspective shots of the burrowing owls. Absolutely fantastic. Totally worth the 5.5 hour drive for me. Great experience.
3 owlets crowd around one of their borrowed burrows, taking turns escaping the sun and keeping watch. While these little owls are more than capable of digging their own dens, they typically do not, and their most common choice of previous tenant is the prairie dog. The dogs tolerate the owls because the two are not in contention. A sleepy diet of mostly insects punctuated with mice and voles keep the owls in the diggers' good esteem. After all, it's better to cuddle with each other than to squabble with the neighbors.
I'm going to take a few more pictures here. They're pretty far away now. I've got 2 juveniles sitting on top of the ground. I'm at 1/2000th of a second, f11 at 1600 ISO. Mostly just because they're really far away and I don't have to focus this perfectly if I'm at f11. I'm about to call it a day. The light is really harsh. I wouldn't have stayed this long if I hadn't had to drive so far. Maybe I'll give it another half an hour. This is just an absolute blast. And these owls are pretty cute when they interact with each other. We'll see.
This little furball here is just a couple of months old. You can tell the young ones because their fronts are all white. They don't have that barring pattern the adults have. He's already flying pretty good. Speaking of flying, let's go ahead and talk about the photography. So I made 2 major mistakes on this trip. Mistake 1, I forgot to turn off my image stabilization on my camera. That killed me because they were so far away and I wasn't using a tripod, so that hurt me. Mistake number 2 was, like a sucker, I fell for the lure of the 2x teleconverter, and I never should have used it. Every photo I took without a teleconverter was sharper than the one that I took with. Don't worry about the distance, just crop into your image, lose the teleconverter, spend that money on a better lens or a better camera body. For your flight shots, at least a 2,000th of a second with these owls. They don't beat your wings very fast, and they're likely going to be pretty far away, so you can get away with 2,000th. For stills, 3/400th of a second, unless the wind is blowing, then you're going to have some feather movement. You're going to want to be 5/800th of a second. I shot everything between f4 and I think my best photos were f7.1. That was my phone going off, but I'm not re-recording this. My ISOs went from high to low as the sun rose higher in the sky. The last 2 photos here are the best ones, the last one being the absolute best one. And I think in my next video, we'll go ahead and edit that last photo together, this one right here. Well, I hope everybody enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe. Thank you very, very much.